Let me know, class, if you could see my screen.
That's visible.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, class. My name is Rimjim, and the topic for today will be effects in HTML. So, our agenda for today would be I'll be covering some HTML tags, which are the most popular tags which we use in web development. And also, I'll be covering like how do we use parallax effects in our programs, and how do we add emojis, and how do we add images in our programs as a good begin to web development session. Yeah. So the first tag for today is iframe tag. So mainly we use class, like if I'm going a bit fast or if my pace is slow, you can anyways interrupt me in between and then let me know. Or if there's any doubts which anybody is having. Yeah. So, like the first tag which I'll be covering today is iframe tag, which is a short form for inline frame. And if we want to add any kind of YouTube videos, or if we want to embed any kind of website or any kind of document to our program, so the tag which we will use is iframe tag. So, like coming for further, like whenever I'll be doing labs, I'll show you like how do I embed an YouTube video or any kind of website, and I'll show you like where do we get an option for embedding. So yeah, the HTML iframe tag specifies an inline frame, and an inline frame is used to embed another document within the current HTML document. So if we just go on any kind of YouTube video we have, so if we just want to embed these type of videos in our program, so what we would do is we would just click on the share option, and then we will get an option for an embed there. So we have to click on the embed option, and we have to copy this entire reference to our HTML program. Whenever we are writing our program, I'll just show you. But like everything else apart from this would just remain same, like our head section, body section, how we declare a normal HTML program. Apart from that, we would be including this iframe tag to embed YouTube videos, and how do we fix height, width, and everything. Yeah. So this was my first tag. Any doubts in iframe tag, class? Okay. So yeah, as I told you, like everything else would just remain same. Like I would just declare HTML and doc type, all those stuff, and then coming ahead, I have to use iframe. I have to use the keyword iframe, and then we have to mention the source path for our video, wherein we'll mention the entire URL, including with height, width, and everything, which I just showed you on the YouTube page. And then like whatever styling we want to provide, like how it should appear on the web page whenever we are writing our programmer, how our appearance should be, then we could just style our YouTube video accordingly. And then we would close our iframe tag, and then we'll close the body part. Mainly we just prefer to use iframe tag in the body section of the program. So yeah, this is the syntax for iframe. Iframe src is equal to URL, and then we have to mention the height and width of the YouTube video which we want to put into our web page. So the next tag for today is UL and OL tag. So UL is mainly unordered list, and OL is an ordered list. So the OL tag defines an ordered list. An ordered list can be numerical or alphabetical. And whenever we are using an OL tag and UL tag, so we just have to make sure that we are using LI. So LI is mainly used to maintain a list of references which we are giving to OL and UL. So let me just give you an example here. So if you just go here and if you just see this option, so this is an example of unordered list. If you just see here, if it is a check mark or if it is a bullet point or a sign off, so in that case we would be using UL. And if we want to mention some numbering for our program, then in that case we would be using ordered list. Like if there's any kind of number which is maintained in our website, then in that case we'll be using ordered list. And the keyword for ordered list and unordered list is OL and UL, followed by the list LI, which is mainly used for giving references in our program. Yeah. The next tag is di tag, which is a description list. So in HTML, like whenever we want to give a reference type, for example, here in my slide, how I have given. So like if there is a header, and to the header, if I want to write something or I want to specify something to my term, I will be using di, which is definition list. And like herein, if you can just see like my slide, my topic is this much, and then how I have given the reference for HTML effects. So similarly, if I want to use that kind of stuff in my program, like so in that case I'll be using description list. So the element enclosed list of group of terms, and and we'll be using dt also. Like whenever whenever we are using dl, that is a description list, then in that case we have to use dt, dd and dl. So dt is, if you can just see here, dt. So dt is mainly defines a term name in the description list, and dd is mainly describes each term name. Okay, dd, like I'll just show you when I'll be doing labs, and dl is mainly to define the list. So whenever I have to write, like I have to give a reference, and to that reference I have to just describe something. So in that case, we'll use dl tag according to our preference, like whenever we are writing any HTML program. So the next topic is parallax effect. So mainly what is parallax is like, you are having an image, and to over that image you are having a scrolling effect, or you are having a auto length cover contain effect. So in that case, like that is what is parallax all about. So parallax is a scrolling a website trend where the background content, that is an image, that is moved to a different speed than the foreground content. And whenever we are using parallax, we have to make sure that we are using all these parameters in our program. So we have to mention our background size. So it like, and to the, and like this is a parameter which is background size, and to this parameter there are four values which we can put in. So the first value will be auto, length, cover or contain. So like auto is just a normal one, length, cover, or if we want to cover that entire in our entire web page, or contain. So these are the four parameters which we can use. Like among all the four, we can just choose one, and then whenever we are writing our program. And the next one is background effect. Like if I want to have an scrolling effect in my program, obviously I have to mention x axis and y axis. I'll just show you. So like consider this be my x axis and this be my y axis. So similarly in web page, if we just know like there is a scrolling effect here, and so to mention that scrolling effect, like where do we need that scrolling thing, like where do we want to repeat our program. So in that case we'll be using background repeat. So it can be repeat x, it can be repeat y, or no repeat, or we just want it as a constant. So in that case we'll be using this background parameter. But in case if we want our program to be like covered with an image, and then we have an scrolling effect to my program, so in that case I have to make sure that I'm using all these four parameters. And then how do I want my background attachment should be, it should be scrollable, or it has to be fixed, or it has to be local. And the next one is background position. Like whatever position I want to give to my background, I can just mention that that position value. But for parallax effect, we have to make sure that we are using all these four parameters, and then we are passing one of these values to these parameters which I have mentioned in the slide. Any doubts, class, in any of the tags which I have covered till? Okay. And the next topic is emojis in HTML. So, like emojis are characters from the UTF-8 character set. Emojis looks like images. Like we all know that, like whenever we are using WhatsApp or any such platform to chat with someone, we use emojis even in emails. But like, how do we use that emojis whenever we are writing our program? So mainly it is a UTF-8 character set. Anybody knows what is UTF-8? Hello, am I audible? Class, anybody is aware about UTF-8? Okay. So in UTF-8, what happens is like so computer won't understand English language as it is. Okay, so like in C or in C++ or in Java, if we want to print ABCD, let's just see, like take an example that I want to print ABCD in like in HTML or any programming language. So what is the character set we use? So therein we use ASCII value. So like what is ASCII is, I'll just write on notepad, no worries. So what is ASCII? Format font. So ASCII. So ASCII has a number range which is there for uppercase, and then which is there for lowercase character. So if I just take A to Z as smaller A to Z, and then so in that case there is a number set which is followed. So for A to for lowercase we have 97 to 122, and then for uppercase it is 65 to 90. Okay, so whenever we want to print all these character sets, which are alphabets, which are there in which are there, so we always have to use like this ASCII character set values. Like UTF is also similar to this one, and also in UTF there are there are some or the more additions always happens to all these character sets. So I guess right now this like we use UTF 8 mostly, but there are other UTF versions also available, which is 7, 16, 32, with some more additions to this character set. But yeah, we always have to make sure that in programming language, whenever we want to print uppercase, lowercase, or if we want to print some special characters or emojis, we always have to use the predefined ASCII values which are already defined. So this is for lowercase, this is for uppercase. And like when I'll do my program, I'll just show you how do we print this ASCII values. Like if I have to print a lowercase a, then I'll use 97, or if I have to print b, I'll use 98, or z, then I have to use 122. Similarly in uppercase also, we'll just do a dry run whenever I'm writing my program. So in emojis also, in HTML, these are the numbers which are already defined, and we just have to use these numbers if I want to print emojis in my program. So whatever emoji you see while texting or while emailing, so all those emojis have a unique ASCII value which you can use while writing a program. Any doubts, class, in any of the tags which I covered, maybe iframe or dldt or anything? If not, then we'll just move to the practicals. Okay, so let's just do a program for iframe tag. Like how do we include, how do we embed a YouTube video in our program? I hope I have a predefined structure here. I'll just use that one. Yeah, so like we use doc type HTML, like whenever we are writing any, let me just increase the size also. So class, whenever we are using HTML, like whenever we are writing HTML program, we have to make sure that we're writing doc type HTML, and that is mainly it defines that this document is an HTML5 document, and we have to use HTML, which is the root element for an HTML page. And we have to, like we can write headers also, and then title and all those stuff which contains our data. So yeah, header for this is iframe example. And then as I told you, like what I have to do, I have to go to my YouTube video, and then I have to copy this content here, and then I have to paste that content to my web page, to my program. And then what that specifies is like I'm just writing an iframe, like I'm just using an iframe tag with width is as 50 and height as 315, and I'm giving this entire src, I'm using src attribute here, which is just specifying my YouTube video link. So let's just save it. And then whenever we are saving our html program, we have to make sure that we are saving it with .html. Okay. So if you just see, like, we've gotten the YouTube video, and we can just play that video in our program. We can just, yeah. So this is what iframe tag looks like, and this is how we will be able to embed any kind of YouTube videos to our program. And also we can just fix this height also. Let's just take it as 300 and 200 and save it, and we can run it again. Yeah, so as you can see, like like using iframe, you can just embed any kind of documents to your program, or you can just embed n number of YouTube videos. And the one thing I guess which should be there is like um we should have we should have copyright also. Like if it is freely available, then use we will be able to use freely whenever we are writing. But in that case, and there's some chances also where we have copyright issue, so that we have to make sure. Let me just include this also. Let's just include one more video. No, this time let's just try to embed and document instead. So what do we open? uh, okay, let's try to embed Flipkart. Okay, just have to copy this entire stuff. I have to paste, and in my src part I have to put this link. Let's save it. So as you can see, like I have embedded two videos and then one document. And then if you could just see, like as I told you, like there would be some copyright issues to a website or to a video. So the reason why it is not coming is like it is just refusing to embed in this in my html program because it has copyrights. So we have to find a website like which does not has copyrights on it. Is this example clear, class? Like how do we use iframe in our html program? Any doubts, anyone? Okay, I consider this silence as everything is clear. Yeah. So next, what we should do is like let's just take an example of ordered list and unordered list. So I'll use the same content instead of writing. So this would be an UL tag example. Yeah. So I'll just open, this is UL, right? So UL, and then I will specify a list. As I told you, to make my preferences, I have to use UL tag. So I can just write name -li. So let me just run this. So yeah, as I told you, like unordered list, it has bullet prints and all those things. So this is an UL tag example. Let me just uh, change UL as OL, and then we'll get an unordered list. Yeah. So we can see that our outputs got changed when I changed the tag name. Any doubts in this one? I guess this is a simple stuff. Yeah, if nobody's having any doubts, let's just move ahead. So like before doing that, let's do the DDDI, or let's just do this. How do we use uppercase and lowercase characters in our programs? Print ASCII values. Okay. So in my body, what I have to write? I just mention B, just to display ABC. See, okay. So whenever I'm displaying values, I have to use ampersand and then hashtag, followed by, for example, if I am using smaller case, so my value was 97 for A, so 97 semicolon. If I want to print B also, so ampersand hash 98 semicolon ampersand hash 99. Okay, control S, and then let's see the output. So yeah, as we can see, like what I have given some numbers to my program, which was 67, 97, 98, and 98, 99, which was to print ABC. And if we can see in our output, it is printing in that manner. It is printing ABC. So, and also let's just try to print uppercases. So my uppercase value for A to Z was 65 to 90. Make sure class you're remembering this. Otherwise, if you go for any kind of interviews and if you're not knowing ASCII character sets, it's very, I don't know, you can feel the pain then. 65, 65 comma, for uppercase A it is 65, for B it is 66, for C it is 67. Okay, so let's just, instead of 67, let's just try 90, which was Z. Okay, let's just save it. Yeah, and we can see that we are able to print A, B, Z, which was our value. And then in that case, if I want to print emojis, so let's just remember the number, which is okay. Let me just make a note. 128513. Okay, which is the character set defined for this emoji. Okay, so 128513 I have to write in here. 128513. 128513. And then save it. So you can see, like, if I'm using 128513, I'm able to print this emoji. Let's just try a number, random number. 513, right? 13. Let's just print 67 and see if there is a defined number set or not for this 67. Yeah, so if you can see, like, this is 128566 is this emoji. So similarly, like, whenever you want to use any kind of emojis, you have to follow the number which is defined for that emoji, the UTF code which is defined for this for that particular emoji, and you'll get all those character set on like easily available and accessible on internet. Any doubts, class, in this ASCII value program? Okay, so let's see. Uh, DI tag example. I'll just show you in this way because it was easy. So if I want to use a DIDT program, so in that case, as I told you, we have to use this. Let me just open that for you also. So in that case, we have to use DL tag description list if I want to print this kind of outputs, like giving references to a header. So in that case, I have to use DL. Where did that go? So in that case, I have to use DL, and then whenever I'm giving like my first header, so in that case I'll be using DT, which mainly defines the term name in my description list. Okay, and then my DD, which will describe the each term name. Okay, so let me just run the program for you so that it is understandable. Yeah, so if you can just see, like, this was my header, and to my header I'm giving some reference to that. So also in this case, I don't know, people get confused, like what is DT, what is DD, and then what is DL. So whenever we want to, like, write a description list in header and subheader format, we have to make sure that we are using DL, like how we are using OL, LI, and all those stuff. So in that case, we have to make sure, like, my header is DT, which is coffee in my case, which is a definition term which defines a term name in my description list, and my DD would be the subheader to my header which I have given in my DL, which will mainly describe my term name. Okay, and this is how my output would look like. So this is one, and then let me just see. This I have covered iframe HTML. Okay, so parallax. So as I told you, like, in my PPT, these are the four, like, there were four parameters which were mandatory when we are writing any kind of parallax program, which was background size, background repeat, background attachment, and background position. Okay, so here in my case, I have mentioned background attachment, background position, repeat, and size. And as you can see, like, I have given parameters as fixed, center, no repeat, and cover. Okay, and like all my values will remain same. Like, how do we write a normal program? Herein what we have just done is we have declared a class parallax, and then we are calling our parallax which I have defined in my header section of the program. So herein, like, this is kind of inline CSS which we use. Like, we can just define all these things in my header, and I, like, whenever I'm writing my body part, I can just call it, like, how do we use functions in C and C++. We just mention it in the headers, and then we call in, like, we can call it anywhere in the program. So I have just given this all these parameters in my header section, and I'm calling in my body part with using div, and I have, like, styled it with color red and font size as 36 px. So let me just run it. So as you can see, like it is providing a scrolling effect. And also we could just try changing like background size, as we can keep length instead of auto. Where is the program? So these are the parameters, right? So background size, I can, let me just put length or cover. Background size, let's just put cover. Okay, it is already cover. So let's just put length or auto. Let's try with auto what happens. Background repeat as background repeat, what were the parameters? Let's just put repeat hyphen x. I've saved it and let's just try executing it. So as you can see, like I've got like my image is like, we have multiple images because I have just changed my background size as auto, and then I have changed to repeat x. Any doubts, class, in any of the topics? Where are we? Any doubts, class? Do you want me to repeat any of the topics which I covered, or any of the tags, be it Parallax or OLUL or DI? Okay, you want the Parallax code? Yeah, sure, I'll give it to you. Yeah, yeah, sure, I'll just repeat it. So like what is Parallax is all about is like whenever we are having an image, okay, and whenever we are having any image and we want to have a scrolling effect like to our HTML page, so in that case we'll be using these four parameters which I have mentioned in my slide. So what does that specify? So like what I'm doing is inline CSS I'm using here. So in my header section of the program I have just declared parallax I've just declared parallax, and therein I have just mentioned these five parameters which I told you in my program. So background image. So in background image, you mainly have to put the URL of your program. Okay. So herein, if you can just see, I have an image dia 8, and I'm using this dia 8 here, dia 8 dot jpg, and I have mentioned my height of that image, and my background attachment, like there are 4 or 5 parameters available which we can use for background attachment, which is, so background attachment can be scroll, fixed, or local. So here in my case what I have used is fixed. Okay, so like among those 4 values we can just put any of the values to see how parallax effects work. And background position I have just mentioned center, you can just put right, left, anything. And then background repeat can be repeat x, repeat y, or no repeat. Okay, so earlier it was no repeat, so I did not had any repeat of my image. So, and if I'm putting repeat x, so I'll have multiple images repeating to my x axis, like how I showed you by drawing the diagram during presentation. And my size I have mentioned as auto, and there are other 4 parameters also available like length, cover, contain. So let me just change it to cover now. Mainly whenever you are writing any kind of programs, there will be only one thing which will be common, and other this all these things are just common. So after passing values to all these parameters, I have to do is in the body section of my program I have to call this uh, class which I have declared here. So I'm just calling here. Okay, and to this class I have just mentioned my height or background. This does not matter. I can also remove this. So let me just save it and run it again. So yeah, as you can see, like earlier it was like what repeat value which I had passed was repeat x. So that's why along my x axis it was like I had multiple images for my picture. But since I had just put no repeat, so it's just a single image, and over that image what I'm doing is I'm just having a scrolling effect. So if you just see here, like I have given this parameter, if I just remove it, it won't matter, because it was just the last thing, it was just a styling which I have given. Yeah. So this is how it works, class. Even like you can just try putting all these parameters. I'll just try to give you this also. Like you can just try putting all these values for background size, repeat, background attachment, and then you can try in. Any other doubts, or you want me to repeat any other topic? Okay, class, then thank you so much, and like you'll get your assignments from your mentors, and then have a nice evening. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
Hello.